All right there, Senor Fletch. We're looking at your son's 1996 Hotrod Deville 212 combo. Another night's passed and I've gotten 1 hour of not even core level sleep. So my eyes closed and then they opened and here I am. Good Lord, am I brain dead. So you guys are going to endure this. It's just the price you pay for free entertainment at my expense. Now, let's go to 1996, running a pair of, where was I? Yes, 6L6s and push-pull. And we're looking at the business end of an immaculate circuit board. Look at that. Come on. Remember what this thing looked like? I'm gonna fire that thing in there so you guys can see. Look at that. Now we can do a proper inspection. Look at that. We can see everything we need to see. And then if you look at the tube PCB, I'll get down in there. Remember those screen grid resistors? Look at that. So it turns out, old Sergeant Solder overheated these. These are crispy. But you know what? Oh, Dr. D's got to perform a little surgery anyway. We got to get this thing done right. What are we doing? So now, thankfully, this is pre-lead-free solder days. Go in and clean up these joints. If I have to run some jumpers, then I'll run some jumpers. There's no shame there. But there's a better way to do things than just connecting them there. I don't need to do that. If these are no longer viable, and you know what, I'm not even going to scrape away this mask here. I'm probably, if that's where we are, then I'm just going to, honestly, I'm going to jump it from, well, I'm probably going to jump it from the supply, bypass that ribbon cable right there, and just actually make the connection with the resistor. But we'll see. You know, I'm getting a little over my skis on this. So, I mean, I'm looking at a ton of corrupted solder joints here. And I don't mean corrupted like, you know, Uncle Ted left a hustler laying around and then the kid saw it. I'm talking some solder joints here that have lost their integrity. And by integrity, I don't mean that, you know, the kid saw Uncle Ted cheating on Aunt Wilma. I'm talking about structural integrity here. Get your mind out of the gutter. So let's do a little bit of work and let me show you. And I hate moving, oh my God, I hate moving these things because these sensitive little ribbon cables, you know what I'm talking about. Love it. No scorch marks under the bipolar power supply components. So look at these dirty bastards here. Now remember this, I haven't done these yet, but the inside of these barrels are going to look much different. And we've got a broken joint there. And then what we also have is a poorly seated jack. And what happens is the geometry between the barrel of the jack and the actual chassis punch and then the, you know, vis-a-vis the faceplate is off by a degree or so. You tighten the thing down and it's going to torque it over. It has no support. Might as well not even have legs. It's literally just being supported by the leads that are passing through. So we're going to fix that. And thankfully, these threads still have their original shape. And it hasn't been cross-threaded because once that happens, you're not going to tighten it up. You might as well just get your iron out and melt a nut on there. So anyway, let's see if we can maybe impact the seating of this one. And this is the preamp out, the infamous one. The only place you're going to get that in the continental United States is over at Amp Repair Parts and I plug them whenever I can. You want to know why? Because they ship fast. They carry all the quirky parts that even Fender themselves don't carry. I'm going to pump them every single time. All right, let me get off my soapbox. I'm just going to touch these up. I'm going to melt a little eutectic blend. Here. There we go. My iron, where's it set? I go hot and fast, guys. My iron's set to 750 degrees. You can guess whether I'm in Fahrenheit or not. The whole purpose of this is just reseat. Nice. Felt it move. Boom. Like it. You get that little millimeter of movement indicating that it's seated. Look at that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove a bit of solder from... I'm actually going to clean off 2 of these joints, and then I'm going to make a mechanical connection here just to strengthen up, so we're not relying on you know, a straight lead being glued in with solder. That's not what you want to do. I don't even know if I'm capturing this for you guys. So look at that. That's terrible. Boop. There we go. Come on, lady. Fender with these jacks, man. I don't know what their deal is. I guess what's cool is you can mix and match the internals and then get different pinouts. If you want to route things a certain way, you can do that. And I'm going to do the bending of the other leads off camera. Oh, nice. They had that kinetic energy built up. And the beautiful thing about this eutectic solder, I'm going to jump back up on my soapbox here, is there's no intermediate state. It's liquid and immediately goes back to a solid. There's no plasma or a plastic state in the middle of it. So what does that mean? That means while you're burning your fingerprints off, waiting for the joint to cool, you're creating a bit of an internal air gap inside of that solder joint. That's no bueno. The eutectic stuff, part of what makes it beautiful. That's nice. Part of what makes this beautiful is that it's instantly a solid. As soon as you take the iron off, within a couple of seconds, it's solid again. Makes a beautiful joint. Now let's take a peek and see how they did. Fender did a great job of seating these potentiometers. Awesome. Again, I've already scrubbed these, so I'm not introducing any sort of contamination into these joints. Okay? These are, well, for all intents and purposes, are, well, I'm going to say they're more clinical and sterile, for lack of a better term. So I don't typically show you guys how I do things because I don't want this to become more than what it is. I'm not an instructor. I'm not a teacher. I do share things, but I typically pass things along orally, if you will. I don't like showing people things because if they damage their equipment or hurt themselves, I don't want to be held liable. And honestly, I can't live with that. You know, like, screw the business. If somebody gets hurt trying to copy what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna be able to live with myself. I don't want that. There we go. I like that. Come on, boom, like it. Make them pretty. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make them pretty, baby. I'm sorry, I saw this Elvis thing on Netflix. Actually, pretty damn good, except they were mixing in a bit of like modern hip hop, which I'm not a big fan of. But you know what? My angry youthful days are well behind me. I'm not listening to Slayer or Bruce Dickinson running across the stage. Although it is my dirty secret guilty pleasure that I will still turn on some Exodus. And remember that, hey, there was a time when I was angry for no reason. Well, yeah, there was a reason, because I was that kid in high school who had acne all over the place. And I was called Pizza the Hut. I was called Domino's. I was called Papa John's. You name it. But, oh, that's behind me now. Oh, that's behind me now. See? Hot and fast. You're not disturbing anything. Your solder pads are still there. And you know what? I've been soldering or soldering for what? Since 2000? No, actually, I'm sorry, since 1998. Do the math on that. Dude, this one's broken. That's one of the ones where it's literally just the feet, the little snap-in feet of the pot that's serving as a ground. So those are still critical. It doesn't need to be passing signal to be critical. It's all critical. It's all a circuit. Nice. All right, and I'm almost over to the input jacks. I like it. Well, I'll tell you, this is cathartic. You know, I alluded to something about my dad, and I'll just tell you. So my mom died of cancer. She didn't even fight it. She just let it take her away. And that was like 5 years ago or something. And we were just over that. And I swear, we were just getting over that. And look how beautiful this is. I love circuit boards sometimes. Just for aesthetics. I don't like working on them per se. But you know what? I still love it. It's working on it's sort of like a bad day fishing is better than a good day working, so to speak. But we had just gotten over that stuff. And my sister called up and said, hey, you know, Dad was, my dad's been passing out for like the last 2 years. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Turns out he had some internal hemorrhaging. And this is going to, you know what I'm actually going to do in this one? I'm actually going to do a chassis joint. This is going to end up being a chassis solder joint. And sorry for this non sequitur. But if I'm going to put jacks on, I'm just going to run shielded cable all the way over to the grid. And I'll put the grid stopper right on the grid. Just as a matter of principle. Okay, so I mean, you've just seen me basically shore up the solder joints along the front control panel. Now, I have not... What I'll typically do is I'll bend two of these one way and one the other. Just for a good mechanical connection there. I'll do that, but I'm not going to do it now. Not on camera. I have some filter caps to change. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do with you guys? I will do this. Since I'm making a long form now that I'm delirious. Let's check this guy out. Nice. I don't like moving this camera stand. I'm gonna ohm all these out before you put, I'm gonna put that stuff back into the chassis rather, sorry. Well, these traces are so thin, it's amazing. It just boggles the mind. So I'm gonna just show you guys what, let's do this together and see what that, let's see what kind of damage this dude did, because I could fix it, and I'm going to. You know, this is going to a kid who can actually play guitar, unlike me. You see that scar right there? And then right here, these little dots right there. Let me get my pointer out. So you want to know why I'm not playing lead like I used to? This is as far as I can bend this sucker. See that? So there was a pin here, here, and here. Sorry about that. That's a long story. And then the main incision here. This is called a central slip tendon. It's an extensor that extends the joint. Had a bit of an accident, and it completely severed that, and then partially severed the one on the side. So I had to have it repaired. And in the repair, once it's been implemented, and once you've healed, your tendon's a little shorter. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to lengthen that tendon. And then I'm still fighting scar tissue. But man, I miss playing lead guitar so much. I guess now I have an excuse as to why I suck, huh? Anyway, where was I? I was talking about my dad. Yeah, so my dad, bottom line is my dad has stage 4 duodenal cancer. It's like a digestive tract type thing. It sucks. It's rare. It's rare and it sucks. And that's, cancer should always be rare, right? Let's, and they said, hey, if you do nothing, you could have 6 days or you could have 6 months. But they're not in the business of pretending like they're Nostradamus. You know, that's not their job. Yeah, I got a couple lamps working here, so pardon me. So now, obviously back on this board, but my dad's actually got a fighting spirit about him, and I love that about him. I love that about him. He's from New York. My mom, well, from New York, Italian. And my mom's French, Cajun French in the vernacular. And my dad just said, you know what? My dad's been through so many like bouts with like heart disease and like 3 or 4 bypass procedures, the whole thing. He's a fighter and he doesn't complain. And I wish I was more like him. I really do. All right. Let's see exactly what kind of damage we're dealing with. When you see this, look at the texture. You see that? It's cloudy. It kind of has like a bit of a rough, coarse look. Most likely it was overcooked. And you can kind of see that here because some of this, oh God, I'm really going to open up a can of worms here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Some of this mask probably peeled back here from him just using a blowtorch and a goddamn thing. So let's just clean this up and see what we're dealing with. And this is going to a really cool dude's kid. I don't know the kid, but I know the cool dude, and I want to help him. I'm big on just treating people as well as I can, because it does come back, you know? And that's not why you do it. That's selfish. Yeah, that's solder pad. I bet this is a... Let me get a tool. I bet it's sticking to my iron right now, because I could see it wiggling around before I even got the damn thing off. Let's focus, baby. Or is this just... I bet this is the part of the... Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the solder pad there. And I think these are one-sided boards. I gotta take a peek on the back end here. Let's take a look here. Let's just throw caution into the wind. Still have to do the sockets here. Not socketeer, the sockets here. When I say do, I mean I gotta clean and retension them. And what I usually do is I'll usually wet these joints, but I've been trying to find a different technique because I don't like wasting this stuff if I don't have to, you know. When you're going back over the joint, if it goes from shiny to dull instantly, you're just done. You got to put a jumper there. because it's never going to be solid. But I'm just illustrating that here. This is going away because the dude who was in here mismatched the screen grid resistors. I have a 1K on one side and then a 470 on the other. Not 470K, 470 ohms. As the crow flies. Let's see. I'm spending way too much time with you guys. I got things to do. I've been really enjoying making videos though lately. Okay. Yeah, I was saying earlier in another video. So somebody said, dude, you're an engineer. Why aren't you making more technically oriented content? I'm like, well, why would I? With respect to the population of clientele I have, one out of like 200 of them are technical. And I don't mean like surfing on a gear page, waxing the vernacular, you know, without the ability to speak to it in any depth. So why would I do that? My videos are only meant to serve as client updates, and now I feel like it's going more towards entertainment. But let me reel that back in. I'll show you guys another thing here. Good Lord, I could zoom out, can't I? Let's do that. So with this stuff, look at that. I'm not even going to tell you what that is. So let me waste some solder to teach you guys something. Those of you that don't know. Okay, so you're soldering, and this is what the tip looks like. You want to clean it off. Pretend like it's all crispy and burnt. So you don't jab it in there.
We're just really wondering, are we going to get hopped up enough to make some bad decisions? And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
This is not high school. This is what you do. Gently, boop, boop, like that. You just gently wipe it. You're just wiping it. This is abrasive. And you want to preserve the tip as long as you can. See? That's all you need. And then before you shut the iron down, you go ahead and you put a little bit of solder back on there as it's cooling down. And then that's it. Set it up for the night. And then your tip will last a very long time. All right, so let's get these out of here. I heard it, guys. I did a 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue where the guy pulled off the old, I think he had 470s on the screens. And that's an arbitrary number because back in the day, I'll just give you an aside. Back in the day, they would calculate the amount of additional screen resistance that would be required for stability's sake, really. They would calculate that by first taking a peek at the internal winding resistance of the transformer. We don't think about that anymore. So now it's just an arbitrary number. People are like, Vox only puts 100. Well, yeah, because they could. Back in the day, they couldn't. You know what? Sometimes you don't even need it. You don't always need them. But I use them for flavor. I've fallen in love with, like between 2.5K and 3K screen grid resistors. It just gives this juicy compression. Touch sensitivity. Love it. Okay, so this is actually still, I'm surprised this is still working there. And I can smell something bad. I can smell something bad. Let's take a peek on the other side. Pull this guy off, and then I'm going to cut you guys loose. I got things to do. I got to work. What are you guys doing to me? What are you doing to me? Where's my parts tray? All right. Let's take a peek. Don't bend it. Don't even look at it. All right. So I'd say, have a look at this. This is what I was referring to. Look at this cat right here. And the reason why I was able to do that is because I knew these leads were straight going through the other end of the board. The guy didn't even bother bending them. Let's check out this because it actually looks a little burnt on the side. Let's fire up the old Agilent and see what she's got to say about this. What do you got to say about this, lady? All right, let's see where this is specking out. We'll go over the ohms here, and I'll move you guys so you can take a peek. I'm still reorganizing, so don't be judging me. Don't judge me. All right, Ovalid Moom. You know what that means. I think that would be an awesome screen name or a jazz rock trio name. Okay, let's see what this guy's specking out as. Boop, 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 boop. 497. Oh, wow. Oh, that's purple. It's not black. Scrape that away. That's purple. Where's my hand? That's actually purple. Okay, so he just has two different... Yeah, okay. So as you can see, it's not that far over, but it's over far enough where I'm tempted to call you, Fletch, and tell you, your kid needs 3Ks in here, buddy. I'm tempted, but what I'll do is maybe I'll just split the difference and put some 1.5s or 1Ks in there, and he'll love it. And you know what else I want to do for you? You see this little, let me do this for you, man. I'll pitch this to you. And I'm not going to charge you for this, because I don't even know your kid. You're good people. This is your negative feedback. This ties back over to your output jack. This little wire, why don't we just interrupt it with a switch and let him enjoy some hair in his tone. And I don't know, I'll pitch it to you. Some low volume breakup goodness. And remember those old funky, remember the old funky jacks here? The windows into the soul of evil. Look at that. Look how clean they are now. I'm gonna get them a little bit nicer now. I'm gonna get that crud off of here. All this stuff's gonna be gone. All this funk right here. We're gonna get the rest of that off of there. Get that junk out of there. Yeah. Ooh, that's tight now. Or much more solid than it was. Awesome. So anyway, let me remove this last screen grid resistor off camera. I got some stuff to do. I hope this finds you guys well out there. And you enjoy your day, or if you're just falling asleep to the sound of my voice, yeah, and all that stuff. Good luck to you. A big shout out to Brad's Guitar Garage. Been digging the channel. Good Lord. You sir are engineer level. You and Lyle, actually. You guys are freaking awesome technicians. And I know a lot of guys look up to y'all, and we love what you guys do. So keep on doing it. And I always send guys to your way if they want to chew on some more dense material. Because my audience is basically my client base. They don't want to hear that. They just want to say, hey, is it juicy sounding? And I say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's as technical as we get. You know? That's it. Let's get this guy out of there. So, see, didn't even bother bending it. If you're gonna poke it in there, just do it right. And you know what, man? The guy didn't remove. He didn't bother removing the this daughter board or the tube PCB to do the job, because he stuck these back on the correct side, but I would have put them on the other side, where there's way better ventilation and way better access. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let's just check this out for the hell of it. And this is probably dead on, but it looks a little crispy too. Yeah, this one is super close. This is a 6.5 digit multimeter. So it's going to get incredibly granular. And this is 466.26. Love it. All right. What the hell am I even doing now? I need to take a break. So, God bless y'all. Take care. Don't forget to push away from the bench. Work in a ventilated space. Go hug your family. Don't be a dick, you know, the whole thing. And, take care. Bye. All right. Yeah, remember how I said the solder pad came off? I just can't quit you guys. And it did. So I'm going to come back with a solution for you. Bye. All right, so this is the new location for the screen grid resistors. I just kind of went 1.5K on these. Good compromise, I suppose. So, like I said, the guy just completely blew these right off of the board. So, the beautiful thing about this is what? Oh yeah, look at that one. I clean it up, but what do you see? You see a giant gap through which your lead will fit. Pass right through it. You don't need to scrape anything off. I'm going to clean all that up, don't worry. I just verified that this guy is still in great shape, but I'm probably going to just go ahead and stick him here, but yeah, there's continuity all the way through to this guy. So it's going to be reliable. Like it. And that's it. On the proper side of the board. Don't ever panic. Don't ever let this scare you. There's always a solution. Keep your wits about you. Be safe. Think it through. Experiment. There's always a way.